everyone, I'm here today to look at the highest rated books that I have read according to Goodreads and compare my rating and also just look at what's on there. I've seen a few other people do this and I thought it was quite a fun idea, so I thought I'd have a little look at what I have read. All these books are in the range of 4.5 to 4.64 stars and there are 15 of them. I wanted a nice round 10, but there's a few series in here that crop up again and again, so I thought I'd just take it up to the 4.5 so that we'd got a bit of variety rather than just Harry Potter, Harry Potter, Harry Potter, and Shadowhunters, Shadowhunters, Shadowhunters. So yes, at the very top of my highly rated there is The Land I Lost, which is actually the 7th short story in the Ghosts of the Shadow Market series by Cassandra, Clare, and this one's also co-authored by Rees, Brennan. How is this my most high-rated read? It's got 4,739 ratings, so it's not like it's a low amount of ratings. In fact, I had to put in a slight rule with this as well of over 100 ratings just to help ease the books in a bit more, because otherwise I've got ones that had only got a couple of ratings, which didn't seem very fair. But yeah, 4,000 odd I thought was more than fair. So this was like a novella length novel. I gave this 5 stars. I also controversially can't remember what this one's about at all. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so this one follows Alec. Makes sense as to why it's so beloved, but I still don't remember it, and this tags back to what I've been saying recently in that I really do need to reread everything in the Shadowhunter world, because details are starting to leave me. I know the overarching plot and I know the big plot points, but the little things I just can't remember anymore. Not a clue. Not far behind that one, we have got Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling, which came in at 4.62 with 2,679,318 ratings. So obviously this one's like standing the test of the ratings. A little bit surprised that this one is the top one, but not at the same time. I mean, I gave this 5 stars, so I can't be that surprised overall. And on my last reread of the series, it kind of threw everything that I thought I knew into disarray, if you like, because I'd always thought that my favourite books were the 3rd and the 5th. And I'd reread them in the past and was like, yes, these are my favourites. The most recent reread I did, sure, the 3rd one's still one of my favourites, but the 5th wasn't so much anymore. And it left me a bit more stuck and confused because I ended up liking the 6th and the 7th as much as the 3rd. So I can't argue with the statistic of this one being one of the most highly rated. As I said earlier, you've got to expect a lot of Harry Potter and Shadowhunters, and this book next is definitely deserving of its position. This is Clockwork Princess by Cassandra, Clare. Definitely my favourite Shadowhunter book, although I do need to reread them to be 100% sure of that at this point, but I adored this book so much. This one has all the Will love, all the Tessa love. Oh, the epilogue. The epilogue. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all that this is on there at 4.58 with 314,000 ratings. I am surprised that this is quite so low on the ratings end though. 314,000 versus the couple of million that Harry Potter was at. Speaking of Harry Potter, the next one is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, coming in at 4.57 average. Again, I gave this 5 stars. This one has 2,317,781 ratings. As I said, again, I'm not surprised that this one's so high up, because I did realise that actually I loved this book as much as my favourite of Prisoner of Azkaban, so I can't argue with the position of this book. And it's as if Goodreads just follows my own mind thought, because coming in at 4.57 with 2.6 million ratings is my favourite Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, so I'm happy with that. And here we have Harry Potter again. This time it's the Goblet of Fire, and this came in at 4.56 with 2,455,000. And I'm surprised that this one's as high actually, but a lot of people do love this one. This one's not one of my favourites and never has been. I always very much at the beginning of the series enjoyed the whole you're going to classes, you're learning the magic stuff. I enjoyed the story and how it always progressed in the same way, and so younger me has never forgiven that this book brought in the first of the different plots, because you don't have the typical storyline. Instead you have the Triwizard Tournament, and so yeah, I think that's why I've never liked this one quite so much. Next we have something that's actually a little bit different. This is Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. This came in with an average of 4.55 and has an average of 30,885 ratings, so not doing too badly at all. I also gave this 5 stars, so not surprised at all, and can remember it reasonably well, but would probably like to revisit it before I continue on with the series, I think. Next is one that I am kind of surprised has got as low amount of ratings as it has. I'm not surprised at all that it's on this list though. This is Becoming by Michelle Obama, and again, I have loved this one and gave it 5 stars myself, but this came in at 4.55 with 444,000 ratings. Now I get that it's not been out all that long, so I suppose 444,000 isn't too terrible. In fact, it's blooming amazing. But this book was everywhere, and I feel like everyone was reading it, so I'm surprised it kind of hasn't broke the 500,000 plus mark at this point, but give it time I suppose and it'll be in the millions. The next one is one that I am very surprised by, like totally blown away surprised by. This is Saga Volume 2 by Brian K. Vaughan. I have read this one a long time ago and don't really remember it. I gave it 5 stars, so again, I agree with its placement, but I don't remember it. It wasn't memorable. I need to reread this book. In similar vein, we also then have Saga Volume 3 at 4.53. This is with 73,970 ratings. Again, I gave this one 5 stars, but I don't remember it at all, so I mean, it's great that it's so high up on my list, but don't remember it. Next up is back to our old formula. So we have got Born to Endless Night by Cassandra Clare. This is from Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy series. And which one is this one? Oh, An Adoption of a Child. If you know, you know. Anyway, this one I actually gave 4 stars to, so I'm below average for this one. I think this is the first one I've been below average for, I think. And this one is at 4.51 with 12,562 ratings. Next we have one that is very different, and I'm so pleased that it is on the highest rated list for me. This is A Dog Called Hope by Jason Morgan. I listened to the audiobook for this and it was just heartbreaking for me at times. It blew me away. It was just so standout. I can still remember it like it was yesterday. This is about a man who has an accident when he's working in the army, oh no, special forces, sorry. He has an accident where he is lucky to survive it, quite frankly, and it takes many months, possibly years, of rehabilitation to even get him to the point of a wheelchair. And he's disabled from the waist down. I think it was the waist down. I'm not 100% sure on that bit. And he ends up getting this assistance dog to help him through life. And wow, this dog is just, oh, they're so clever. How these dogs are trained to the extent that they are just blows me away. Like, this dog could fetch stuff from the fridge for him, for example. Like, it's so clever. And yeah, this is just the true story of Jason and Nepal, the dog, just like learning to get through life with each other. and the hilarity that brings, but also the heartbreak that brings. And yeah, this book broke me so many times. A wonderful, wonderful memoir to get your teeth stuck into if you're looking for one that features a dog. And this came in at 4.51 with 647 ratings. So I'm glad that I didn't make the allowance 1000 ratings and instead just 100. Might have been to keep this one in. But this book, I want more people to read it. I want everyone to read it. Go and read this book. Another one I have here is one that really surprised me that it was on here. Again, I think it's due to the lower amount of ratings overall, but it's still within what I was allowing. So this is a book that I personally gave 4 stars to. This is Fantastically Great Women Who Changed the World by Kate Pankhurst. This has an average of 4.5 exactly, and this has 694 ratings. So enough to sort of gauge it, in my opinion. And so that makes this book a hidden gem. I remember reading this really well as well. It follows different women throughout time that have changed the world in various different ways. You have the likes of Coco Chanel, Amelia Earhart, Anne Frank, and Rosa Parks, among many others. So highly worth checking out, and also done in such a really beautiful, illustrative way that would make a great present for younger girls and indeed younger boys. This next one on here doesn't surprise me that it's on here, and this is Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. This book, the ending just blew me away, quite frankly. I don't remember the rest of the book very well though. Again, this links back to I definitely need to reread the Shadowhunter books, but the ending is staying with me forever. That ending, ooh. And this has an average rating of bang on 4.5 as well, with 83,894 ratings. The final one on my list, which is the last book that I have read to come in at 4.5 or higher, is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix with 2,380,130 ratings. This kind of goes along with my thought process of how this used to be my favourite book, I suppose. I suppose it used to be a lot of people's favourites and still is some people's favourites, so that's how it's managed to get so high. I do think it speaks volumes that the first book and the second book aren't on this list. So the first book makes sense because that's the book that everyone's going to pick up regardless of whether they like Harry Potter or not. They're going to give it a go. So that will drop its average rating. But the second book, by then you know whether you like Harry Potter or not. And so it makes sense to me at least that the fact that that one hasn't featured means that I'm not alone in that being my least favourite book in the entire series. So yeah. Anyway, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix has just scraped it in there. And I thought that this was quite an interesting list to look at. As I said, I'm not surprised that the Harry Potter books are on there. I'm not surprised that there were Shadowhunter books on there. But the others on there were really quite an interesting mixed bunch. And I'm glad I had a look and shared this with you. If you have done this too, then let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to check out your video. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe by clicking the image of me if you want to see more book reviews and other bookish content from me, and I will see you soon. Bye bye!